What comes to mind when you think of a highly intelligent person? Is it a Silicon Valley CEO wearing a nice turtleneck? Are they scribbling a ton of confusing equations and graphs on their nicely lined notepad? Maybe they have a wild genius look in their eyes and are a bit more quirky, speaking at a mile an hour. Or perhaps more restrained and subdued, but always able to silence the room with their amazing intellect. Whatever your response may be, I think that we could all agree that people's levels of intelligence are factored by things outside of just their IQ. Now, a lot of these people do have similar traits and behaviors, but the startling reality is a lot of us wouldn't be able to identify one if we're merely just interacting with them in regular situations. And this is because they probably aren't what you believe to be peculiar tendencies of the Elon Musks of the world. So having said that, here are the 8 common but pretty weird tendencies that a lot of these people do have. The first one is taking cold showers. Now, you may or may not already know, but some of the most brightest people out there tend to take long cold showers every single day, and there's a reason for this. Now, I know a lot of people do this, myself included, because they read it in an article or they thought it'd be cool to freeze their buns off in the morning, but there's actually an age-old process where cold showers have a way to imitate a process called water therapy. And water therapy is said to provide health benefits for both the body and mind by supplying our brains with fresh blood, enhancing mood, memory, and productivity. So if you want to give this a shot, jump in the shower. I started by doing it for only 30 seconds after I was done showering, and then I eventually moved up to a minute. And then I got to the point where I was doing it for 2 to 3 minutes, and that was really all I needed to trigger all those mental and physical benefits that I got from it. And I highly recommend it. I think you should give it a shot. The next thing these smarty pantses do is they're always talking to themselves. I know many of us do truly have a habit of talking to themselves. I do it a lot, humiliatingly. I get caught in the act sometimes, but I guess I'm smart. I don't know. No, but the difference between me yelling at myself from across the room and these highly intelligent people doing it is they tend to mutter kind of to themselves as if they're trying to solve problems. And in doing so, they're able to kind of work out equations in their head more as they're kind of just speaking out quietly, not super crazy like me. And I think the only explanation for this is, I think probably in the moment, the only person that they can really have these highly intellectual conversations with are themselves. The next one is cursing a lot. This is where I realized that I'm Albert Einstein because I get kicked out of establishments 30 seconds after I get there. But really bright people tend to use just very inventive swear words that really showcase their vocabulary. They just have this tendency to make you feel way worse than you already are without even knowing what those words even mean. And they also tend to think for themselves rather than accepting all these random social norms that don't even make sense, that are just here for arbitrary reasons. And highly intelligent people don't see anything wrong with cursing or not, as long as there's no malice intended. And some of my smartest friends, their middle name is... The next one is being a night owl. And as someone that goes to bed at 9 a.m. on the dot, this disqualified me immediately. But one thing I did notice is some of the brightest people tend to get all of their hard work done late at night when other people are sleeping. And I don't know if that's just when their brains function at a higher level, or if they feel like they're doing more when other people are sleeping, so they feel like they're ahead of everyone else. I don't know what the case is, but that seems to just be a common theme. I think the most logical explanation is these people tend to have a lot on their minds, and they're always multitasking, and they're able to function later at night when it's more quiet. The only thing I don't like about this is I like having a routine where I sleep for 8 hours, because if I sleep for less and I stay up late, then I'm groggy the next day and I feel more stupid than I already am. But what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. Are you a night owl, or are you a morning bird? I don't know what I call myself. The next one is being messy, where I immediately put myself back in the running. Now, when you think of a highly intelligent person, you probably think of a person who's got their nicely sharpened pencils in a cup holder with everything OCD laid out in order. But oftentimes, these people look like they just were in a coloring war with a 5-year-old, and their stuff is completely everywhere. And I think a lot of this is due to the fact that a lot of these people are just always creating. They don't really care about organizing stuff as long as they're able to expand their attention and ability to be more creative. And I know a lot of these people tend to despise conformity, and they don't like having to be organized and do everything by the book. And I think this just comes back to them just rejecting social norms. The next one is criticizing yourself. Because some of these people think they're so bright and that no one else can question what they have to say, then they have to take the liberty to be their hardest critic and think and criticize their own work. And I've noticed this trait amongst really smart people that I know because they're constantly looking for answers and things that they did wrong and how they can better themselves, and they're always just looking to improve. And as a result, their constant desire to learn and to critique themselves provides real results, and they accomplish more things. I think one of the hardest things for me is always striving to be a perfectionist. And I know it's not a realistic expectation at all times. Like, I'm gonna have off days and things come up and it's all right. And when you're too hard on yourself, I think then that's when it kind of becomes unhealthy. The next is these smarties just wanna be left alone. I've noticed that a lot of the most brilliant people are generally more reserved and they tend to keep to themselves and not like big crowds. They tend to just want to communicate with other people that are on their level intellectually, and that's few and far between. And they really just prefer to be alone a lot of the time because of their extreme independence. They tend to prioritize long-term goals and aspirations and don't really make time for friends as often. And this is why you'll see 25-year-old millionaires that really just went full at it at like 17, 18 years old and graduated with 6, master's degrees. Can you even do that? But they didn't have time for anything else. They were just focused on themselves. Next, we have daydreaming. And this is kind of ironic because you think that a lot of these intelligent people just tend to focus and work and not really pay attention to outside factors. But in fact, a lot of them do daydream and they create lives in their minds that are just bigger than life. But this makes total sense to me because people with really rich imaginations have a tendency to bring those to life, and they create in their minds and then they actually build. I really enjoyed making this video. If you guys got some value out of it, please hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe. I do new videos like this every week. Let me know in the comments, are you a highly intelligent person? Or are you just an average Joe like me? Do you not like highly intelligent people? Give me a story. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos. It means the world to me. We are growing this community every week. I'm really excited, and it's just up from here, baby. You can watch my other videos over here in this playlist. I think it's coming up. Probably not. I'm still getting used to this. But I'll catch you in the next one. Peace, guys.